Rachel and welcome back to my channel, Bales 1986 SW, and today for Vlogtober number 3 I want to talk about my favourite books, and I hope these become some of your favourite books. And if you have read them, let me know down in the comment section which books you have read, which books you liked, you didn't like, or the books you think I'm actually going to try that out. Now these are some really cosy books. Some of them will I say hopefully make you cry, but they pull at your heartstrings, should I say. Some of them are just a cosy love story, what we sometimes just need. They're an array of books, and these are most of my favourite books, so I hope you enjoy them. My favourite book of all times is Wonder by RJ Palacio. Now this book broke me, absolute broke me. I've read this loads, and I mean loads, like the pages are coming out, some of them. This is about a boy called August, or as we know him better, Augie. And the basically it says, "My name is August. I won't tell you what I look like. Whatever you're thinking, I am 10 times worse." This is about a boy called August, and he has a facial disfigurement. And he has been homeschooled until he was about 11 years old, and he's moving into high school. This is set in America, so it's called high school. And his parents decide that it's time to stop homeschooling him and for him to actually go to school. And obviously the parents are worried because obviously he looks completely different. They're concerned about bullying, and it's about August or Augie's life in high school, having a facial disfigurement and looking different from others. But it's about more than just his facial disfigurement. It's about love, it's about friendship, it's about accepting people of the personalities and what that person can bring, rather than what they actually look like as a human being. This is such a powerful read. It's a YA book, and I strongly recommend, if you've got any children out there who are year 6 and they'll be entering year 7, this is a perfect read. It's a book where it's a book which hopefully shows that everyone can be different in their own way. Looks are absolutely nothing to do with fitting into school. It should also be to do with personality and getting to know someone, and it's an amazing read. I highly recommend this book. I will always read this book. Some of the chapters are very personal to me. Obviously, having a child who has a feeding tube, which is very obvious to see. Some of the chapters absolutely broke me. I can relate to that as a parent. It's amazing. Absolutely fantastic read. If you really want to read this, then please make sure that you get the Julian chapter included in the book, because it has a whole different perspective of it. 5-star read for sure. Then the other book I absolutely love is The 5 People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom. This book is incredible. Really short book, really big print. You can read this in one sitting. It's about Eddie, and Eddie works at a fairground, and it's not a spoiler, but he dies, and he dies trying to save a little girl. And he obviously goes to heaven, whatever heaven is. It goes into another world, and it's about 5 people he meets in there, and it is such an incredible story. It's about what we leave behind and what we want people to remember us by, and how we affect other people's lives without we knowing. So basically, I don't know, you could help a little boy cross the road, and it's about if you've not saved that little boy, if you've not helped that little boy cross the road, what would have happened, kind of thing. It's like that, and it's such a powerful read. I absolutely love it. Read it many times. 5-star read. I've read some of his other books, but this one is just my firm favourite. It's got one of my favourite quotes in it. I just love it. Absolutely love this book. Then one of my favourite authors is a lady called Katherine Hughes. She's got 2 books. These are the 2 books. She has got a 3rd book out, which was just released in September, and it's on my Christmas list for Santa. So this is my firm favourite out of them both. This is The Letter. In here you meet a girl called, I say girl, she's a woman called Tina. Tina works in a charity shop, and she works many hours as a volunteer in this charity shop. She's trying to escape from her husband because she has a really bad time at home with her husband. And on one day in the charity shop, a coat is handed in, and as always she checks it and makes sure it's in perfect condition. And she puts her hand in a pocket and she finds a letter which is sealed and unfranked. Then it takes you back to the 4th of September 1939, where a boy called Billy is writing a letter which hopefully will change his life for good. And then something happens, and basically it's going from the present to the past. It's so smooth when she goes from the past to the present, or the present to the past. The characters are well made. She's a beautiful storyteller, and I highly recommend this book. Really recommend this book. I love how a letter, where finding something like that and then knowing the backstory to it, it's just an incredible read. I've read this in 2 settings. It's incredible. And then she got out another book called The Secret. Now this is about a couple called Beth and Michael. Beth and Michael have a little boy called Jake, and Jake is waiting for a kidney transplant. And Beth has just Beth's mother has just died, and with her dying, she has buried a secret which could change Jake's life for good. But as Beth is sorting through her mother's belongings, she comes across a newspaper clipping which opens up a big bag of worms, which hopefully could change Jake's life for good. So this is about family secrets, it's about love, it's about friendship, and it's a really good book. Out of them both, I do prefer The Letter, but this is such an incredible read as well, and I'm really looking forward to her new book, which is just come out as well. So it's by Katherine Hughes. This is The Secret, and this is The Letter. All my books are mostly second hand. I'll link a website down below called The World of Books. It's not an affiliated link, I don't make any money about it. It's just a fantastic website where I buy most of my books from, and if I don't buy them from there, I buy them from charity shops, and then I ask Santa for really good copies of books. So I have them. I have fresh books, so like Wonder is a brand new copy, but I first read it from a charity shop, just looking through a charity shop. So yeah, I love these books. Then let's go to the light-hearted reads. This is Billy and Me by Giovanna Fletcher. Giovanna Fletcher is married to Tom Fletcher, who is in the band called McFly. This is her first novel, and it's such a sweet novel. This is about Sophie May. Sophie May lives in a little village still lives with her mum, and she works in the local tea shop. And then one day a film crew come to the village to film film adaptation, I can't say that word, of Pride and Prejudice. And the leading actor called Billy walks into her tea shop, and yes, you know what's going to happen. They fall in love. And it's such a sweet romance, a sweet friendship. Then Sophie May has to make that decision whether to move with Billy to the city. And it's how Sophie May comes from a village girl, and basically she's thrown into their celebrity life. And it's about love, it's about friendship, it's just a sweet love story. At the end of the day, there is a sequel to this, there's a novella to it, so if you do like it, there is more of Billy and Me. I wish they did Billy and Me and the Wedding, and I wish they did Billy and Me and the Baby. It would be amazing. I absolutely love this book. It's just a light-hearted read, and yeah, it's cute and I absolutely love that. I will say I love it to every book, but you get the gist. Then another book I absolutely love is P.S. I Love You. You've probably watched the film, but I highly recommend reading the book. The book is so much better than the film. This is about Holly and Jerry, and Holly and Jerry were sweethearts at school and they got married, and then all of a sudden Jerry dies. And Holly obviously is absolutely devastated and doesn't know how to live a life. They have no children. She is basically festering in her house, and unbeknown to Holly, Jerry has left certain letters a month for her to open, and it's for her to relive her life again. And at the end of every of those letters, it always says, P.S. I love you. This is an amazing story. It's so sweet, it's loving, it'll make your heart break. I was reading this with like big fat ugly tears coming down me. It's so much better than the film. If you like the film, then I highly recommend trying the book, because you'll realise it's completely different. The settings are completely different, and it is a really nice book to read. Then, as you may know, I am a massive Disney fan, and this book is called The Under One Roof, and this is where Up came from. The film Up, which is made by Disney Pixar. This is the story of Up. So basically, this is about a lady called Edith who lives in a little house, and a big contracting firm wants to take her house away and make a shopping complex. And Edith has been offered millions of dollars for her house, and she's like, no, I've lived here all my life, I am not budging. Now, this story is a true story, and the author is Barry Martin. Now, Barry Martin is the contractor of that firm, and he was put in charge to try and help Edith be swayed to give up her house. And the author is Philip Lerman. So Philip Lerman has wrote the story via Barry Martin's tale. This book is about love, it's about friendship, it's about what we see as it's about materialistic things, it's about the older generation going with the younger generation and the younger generation moving with the older generation. It's how we can always be one. Yeah, it's a brilliant book. I love it, and Up is one of my favourite Pixar films, and it was so lovely to read. It's so sweet. Edith is such a lovely character, and Barry was, you think he'd come across this, like, he needed it done, he needed to get this woman out, he had a job, but then he had a heart as well, and he did chores for Edith, like Edith wanted him to take him to the doctors, and he took her to the doctors. It's such a lovely read, and I highly recommend it. Under One Roof by Barry Martin, with Philip Lerman, and it's a brilliant read. Then the other two books are by the same author. This is one by Sarah Crossan, and this is Moonrise by Sarah Crossan. Now this is her second book, but this was my first read to Sarah Crossan. Now Sarah Crossan writes in verse, so they are very quick reads, but she packs a punch in her books. This is about Joe. Joe hasn't seen his brother Ed for nearly 10 years, and that's because Ed is on death row. Now, Joe finds out that Ed has been given his actual date of execution date, I can't think then, of his execution date. And this is about Joe trying to help Ed. And you find how it's about the death penalty, it's about different circumstances, it's about brotherly love, it's about trying to let go of something, it's accepting loss. It broke me. You can read this in a sitting, But what I recommend you do is stop when you get the tears or the emotion and then come back to it, because it's such a heartfelt book. I absolutely love it. I love how gorgeous the cover is. It broke me. I love it. I love her writing style. It's just beautifully read, like beautifully wrote, and I absolutely adore it. Sticking with this, I then went and found her first novel, and this is called One. This is about Grace and Tippy. They are conjoined twins, and they live their life. They're fun-loving girls, and they just want to be seen as two separate people who happen to be joined together. And the family have to make a decision whether to split them, and that decision may lead to consequences which the family have to then deal with. It's about sisterly love, it's about family dynamics, it's about accepting, it's about wondering what ifs. It is gorgeous, and once again it is wrote in verse, so it's a very quick read, but goodness me, it packs a punch. Highly recommend both of these books. So if you've never read in verse, then these are the books I highly recommend. And the other book I absolutely love is The Instructions of a Second-Hand Heart. This book is about, it's a YA book, and it's about a boy called Johnny. Johnny's not your average teenager. Johnny lives in a hospital and is kept alive by machines. Johnny wakes up every morning thinking, is this the day I'm going to get a heart donor, or is this the day that I'm actually going to die? Then you meet Naomi. Naomi fights every single day with who she calls her perfect brother, Leo. And every day, Leo always wins. Then there's an accident, which absolutely changes everything. So, this book is about donors. It's about not taking people for granted. It's about living for each moment. It's about words can hurt. And it's about letting go of the past and living for the future. It is a YA book. It is a beautifully beautifully written. It goes between Johnny and it goes between Naomi, and the chapters are very well, quite short. It goes between Johnny and Naomi and other family members, and it's a beautiful book and I highly recommend it. So there's that one. And the final book I want to recommend is Lisa Jewell, The Truth of Melanie Browne. I absolutely love Lisa Jewell's books. I've read loads of her books, but this was my first introduction into Lisa Jewell's writing, and I absolutely love this book. This is a book about Melanie Browne, and Melanie Browne, at 9 years old, house burnt down. It took her toys, it took her memories, it took her photographs, and also it took her memory. She can't remember anything before her 9th birthday. Then you meet her in her early 30s, and she's living in a small flat with her 17-year-old son. And she's not had a lot of luck on the dating scene, let's put it that way. So one night she gets a first date, and her first date, what she's not had for ages, takes her to see a hypnotist. It was meant to be a fun date, something different. So she attends, and something weird happens. She faints. And when she comes around, she starts recalling these silly memories. And then these memories get powerful and powerful. And then she realises that it's something to do with her past. And basically it's her past coming back. It is an amazing story. I love it. I love books that go from the present to the past and the past to the present. It is beautiful. It's a brilliant read. I just love her writing style. Her characters are brilliant. Like Melody is such a wonderful character, and also her son, a 17-year-old son, I can't remember his name, he's a funny character as well. They're really well-rounded characters, and you really want Melody to succeed in this story, and you're really behind her as a character. She's just it's a lovely story, and it's, if any book I'd like you to read, it's a Lisa Jewell book. They're just amazing, and some of her books just recently have become quite dark. The same premise, like you go to the past, to the present kind of thing, but they become quite dark. These are one of her first kind of novels, and it's just an amazing read, so I highly recommend that. So I hope you've enjoyed this this video. If you'd like to see more of my book recommendations, I have quite a few for Christmas. If you'd like to see it, then please let me know. So as always, food optimise when you can, sending positive thoughts, Rachel. Bye!